Bluebeam is one of Lutron's newest digital design tools that eliminates manual efforts in the specification process, helps create quick bills of materials, and integrates into my projects in the Homeworks Designer software. For those of you who are new to Bluebeam, I'll start with showing you where to download the Bluebeam design files. Let's get started. On Lutron.com, under Service and Support, click on Bluebeam. Here for training purposes, I have already pre-selected Homeworks for us. On this page, you'll find your desired profile for your project, click Download, and then we'll be prompted to follow the setup wizard. For additional download instructions and questions, please utilize our Bluebeam app note located on each product download page. Right here at the top, our Bluebeam application note, select, and it'll also take you right to the PDF here. For other design file download locations, we can hop to our Ketra website. On Ketra, under Resources, Technical Documents, right here at the bottom, we have our AutoCAD and Bluebeam tool chests. Also, you can find our downloadable files on our Luxury Lutron website under each individual product. So scroll to the bottom of each page, select Design Files, and then you'll have the ability right here for Bluebeam and your zip files to download. Now we're going to shift our focus to the Bluebeam review software. There are some important tips to take note on before placing any product on a floor plan. First, it's really important that each drawing will require a scale to be set. So right here on the bottom right-hand corner, you'll select Scale Not Set. Two options will appear: the ability to calibrate your scale or input a preset or custom scale. For example, our floor plan here, if I cancel this out, has already provided us a scale. Now, most drawings will provide a scale for you, but if not, you'll be able to calibrate the scale. So it's really important to select a doorway and then be able to follow the instructions from there. So here we're going to go back to Scale Not Set. For calibrate, you'll just follow your prompted instructions to select your 2 points of a dimension. So again, a doorway, click OK. And then these snap points will click right in. Now on this screen, most doorway entries are about 3 feet. So I have the ability to change this to set my scale. Then hit Apply Scale. So now a scale has been set for this drawing. But since we do know the scale already on our drawing, I am going to go back and change it into our preset. So under Input, I'm going to switch back to Preset and then find our scale dimension. Then Apply Scale. Another important note is to take note where the Lutron profiles live within the review software. So right up here in the top left corner, you'll select Review. You'll select Profiles, and then all the profiles, depending on which design files, you've downloaded, will be available here. So since I have downloaded under our Homeworks page, our residential full design files, all different profiles from Caseta to our homework system will be available. And now for this in particular drawing today, we're really going to focus on our homework in Ketra Type X, which has already been pre-selected for us. So once the profile is selected, each product associated within that design file will appear here in our tool chest. So just to keep my workspace clean, I've already collapsed my tool chest, but we will open it right back up. So here on the left-hand side, I've selected my tool chest. So within the tool chest, there's some best practices to keep in mind. If you want to expand or collapse the needed tools on a project, you can do that here. So we just click Tool Chest. All the tool chests will show up, and obviously everything has been selected here for us, but we have the ability to unselect those to really clean up our workspace. So we won't be using our ecosystem interfaces, wired sensors, or even any of these graphic T or plugin controls. So I was able to hide those here from my tool chest. Now you also have the ability to really change on how that product may be displayed in your tool chest. So for example, I have my symbol view. So how to change that? So here under System Equipment, You can click on your gear icon. You have the ability to toggle between a symbol view or a detailed view. I personally like the symbol view, as it keeps my workspace clean, and I can hover over each product to get a label and also the model number for that specific product. Now, some of you that, again, might not be familiar with a lot of our Lutron product, the detail view might be something that might be of interest to you. So select detail, and again, right here, it gives you the stamp as well as the model number, and then you have the label for your use here too, to see what the name of that product is. So another great function within the tool chest is the My Tools section. So just open this back up again. So My Tools allows for you to keep your most used product in one place without having to venture through each of those product categories below. This really helps save you time and effort through that design phase. So here in My Tools tool chest, I have my processors, my repeaters, as well as some dimmers, fan control, as well as my C-Touch keypads. Now, these are common products that I would be using in my residential floor plans here. So now you can actually add and delete these commonly used products at any time, and it will not delete from those product categories below. So for example, again, since we're working under our new Ketra Type X design file, we'll be using the QSX processor. So if I was to say remove this QSX processor, I can delete it from My Tools tool chest. It's still available in the homework system equipment. And knowing since you need a processor on each floor plan and through each project that you're working on, again, really important to kind of have that in the My Tools tool chest readily available for you at any given time. So again, just deleted it and added it right back. So now we're going to move into stamping some product onto our floor plan. Now I'm just going to switch my screen here a little bit, as I have actually placed some items on my drawing here for this training. Now there are a few different ways to approach when stamping product. So for one, you can place the product individually based on the legend that's given on your floor plan. So if we just kind of pull over here, this is my legend that's given on my floor plan. And now, for example, here we have $D. So that's where we might want to stamp a Pro dimmer. So again, I can go over here, I can hover over where's my Pro dimmer and pull that right on into our floor plan. So I just selected it. I come on over here, right over on top of $D, click, and then I hit escape. So now we have a dimmer that has now been placed right here on our floor plan. Another great example to maybe you grab the wrong dimmer or switch or keypad, you're able to delete that product from the floor plan and add a new product in as well as needed. Another great way to approach a floor plan, or maybe you're working on a project that has more than one floor, you're working on a homework project that has 3 floors, you'll be using the same dimmer in those locations. So a great way to save time is to use the search function available here in Bluebeam. So right here on the right side of my screen, I can click my search function. So as you can see, I've already pre-typed $D in, but you can search any of our product here on the floor plan. Now, how do I know if my document is text searchable? So right here at the bottom, we can just click our select text. This saves some time where I can just kind of draw a box over it and see what I'm able to search within my PDF drawing here. So just head right back to our search function. So again, I already put in $D in our text search. So when I hit search, it's going to take a little while, but right down here in our results category, you can see all of the $D that my search function picked up with on my floor plan. Now, you have to keep in mind when using the search function, whether it is the text search or the visual search, that it may miss some of those symbols on the floor plan. So do keep that in mind, that it may not pick up on all symbols. So just to always double check if you're using this method before jumping into exporting this markup into a CSV file. So how do I now stamp my product? So if we actually hop back to this floor plan here, since we don't have any product stamp, if I was to search $D, search again, if I click the drop down on my check options, my little lightning bolt, under apply count measurements to check, I'll be prompted with my tools or even all the different design files that were listed below in the tool chest. So again, really easy if you save some time pulling your frequently used tools into the My Tools tool chest. So right here, I'm able to select my Pro Dimmer. Oops, select all of them. Then click your check options. Here, Pro Dimmer. So now as I scroll in onto my floor plan, the Pro Dimmer has now been stamped anywhere on here where $D is located. Now, I can also click on these results and it'll take me and highlight exactly where that location is on the floor plan. Now I know for a fact this shows that we have 16 results found, but there's only 15 Pro Dimmers that will need to be on this floor plan. So as I scroll over to my legend, we can see that $D has been pegged with a Pro Dimmer. So how do I delete that without deleting all of the product that I just had stamped using the search function? So if you just right click, you're able to either delete, which will delete all of the dimmers on the floor plan, or you could just delete from the group. So I'm just going to delete from the group here. And it is now gone. And as I shift back onto my floor plan, all my dimmers are still available. So now, once your product is all stamped on your floor plan, it's really important, even just jumping back into why do I need to set the scale? Why is that important? And this really comes down to, again, once my product is all stamped on my floor plan again, I have my repeater, I have my processors in a centralized location. That scale comes in handy, especially when we're talking wireless ranges. So are my products within range of my repeater? Do I need to add another repeater on this project? So I already have my Clear Connect wireless ranges for Tetra Type X, but we're going to backtrack a little bit. And you can have two options. We can go back out to review, profiles, and down to general. Here we can click on our wireless ranges. We have all the wireless ranges available. But we've also recently added here in each profile a wireless ranges category. So I know that mine's located right here at the bottom. So again, I have all of my same wireless ranges, as well as even my occupancy sensors and vacancy sensors, making sure that those are also in range as well. So we're going to start by selecting our 30-foot wireless range. So I'm just going to back out a little bit. Just going to place it on here. We'll kind of collapse some of these different things so we have a clean workspace. So on here, as you can see, we have the X, which highlights the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull that right on top of my repeater, dead center. So now when I scroll out here, I'm able to see that all of my products stamped on my floor plan is within that 30-foot wireless range. So again, this is really important, especially when it comes to larger projects or projects with multiple floors. You want to be able to verify those proper wireless range covers, and if you need to add additional repeaters on the link. So on this floor plan again, since we're centered, we do not need to add another repeater. Now, I am going to backtrack a little bit here, since I did mention early on that we are using the profile of Homeworks plus Tetra Type X. So what I'm going to do here is I do have some Tetra fixtures that are stamped on my floor plan. So going right back into my tool chest, we'll pull in our gateway. So I might just throw it on down here per se, you have a closet, and hide that. So if using the Catcher Type X devices, you will need to use the 71-foot Clear Connect wireless Type X range, and that will help to verify that all your devices signed to that gateway are in range. So that is our big blue bubble right here. We'll have to back it out. Pull it in. So again, we're right here on our floor plan, so we have more than enough coverage here. Then also, you'll need to use the 25-foot wireless lighting device ranges to ensure that all your Catcher devices are within 25 feet of two other devices that are on that subnet. So that would be right here, our wireless lighting device range layer. So again, we want to make sure that we are placing that in a central location. So right here, we are covering all of our Catcher fixtures stamped outside of our living room. Now, to make sure that these don't come up in our next step, which is our markups list, I'm just gonna delete these off my floor plan. They're out of our way. And then we're gonna head down right here to our markups list below. So in our markups list, you'll find all the product that has now been stamped on the drawing. It includes your label, quantity, and even the specification in other columns across here that will be important when we export this into a CSV file and later into my projects. So some different things to keep in mind while on our markups list. So as you can see, our quantity, we have one of a lot of different product that's been stamped. So first, you have the ability to resume count. So maybe you realize I need to add an additional dimmer to a location on my floor plan. So since this is its own separate line item, I can select that line, right click, and resume count. So if I was to go back up onto my floor plan, it is, you can see on my screen here, I have a Pro dimmer. Now, wherever that location may be where I may want to add another dimmer down here, I may want to replace a product, I have that ability to resume count, and then it will all now merge into, there are two dimmers on that line item. We can kind of see an example down here is that right here, we have two dimmers. So those two dimmers were stamped together right here. And I believe are sunroom. So we have two dimmers that are together. Now on this same example, be able to also split those counts. So say I have a bunch of Maestro dimmers that are stamped throughout my floor plan, and each one is clumped together. So we can do this right here, our adjustable downlights. So since I stamped them all together, and say now I want to separate them since they're in different rooms, I have that ability. So if I right click, I can split all. So now my quantity went from 8 downlights to all singular downlights. Now, how do I get that back? How do I now clump them all together knowing that they're all in my living room space? So here you have the ability to select your control button and select multiple downlights. And you can kind of see it selecting each of those downlights for me. I right click and I can merge my count. So merging, again, it combines all your product into one singular group. So since all those downlights are located within the living room, they're now grouped together as one singular product group. Now, those same functions are available to you on the floor plan too. So, for example, we can select, so we can draw a box. It selects all these products. If I right click, I can resume count. So again, I can say add another dimmer here if needed. We select them again. You can also merge those counts. So that they're all in one location when we go to basically group all of our products together later on, you can merge those counts. So now it will count as 3 products. And that will be available to us down here, again, in our markups list. Now, in the markups list, it's really important to take note of the columns that are provided here. Now, depending on your comfort level with either in Bluebeam or Excel, a name column will need to be created for my projects to properly pull through the information. So how to do that in Bluebeam? So under our markups list, the drop-down, selecting columns, manage our columns, we can jump right into custom, add, and then we can add a name column. So for example, we'll need a name column. Click OK. Click OK again. And now if I scroll all the way over here, a name column has now been provided for us. Now, my personal preference is to pull it closer to my area. And do note that that name column does need to be unique and should not be the same for each in particular product. Maybe either 1, 2, 3, 4, if that's how you want to label it, or master bedroom 1, entry 1, different things like that. And that will help you stay organized as you pull your CSV file later on into my projects to create that quick bill of material. So you can do that right on here. You can add a name, you can add an area right on here, and then that will all collect into one category. Now, some other quick tips and tricks to keep in mind too is that right here, my gear icon, I have our count measurements property. So since I've selected my processor on my floor plan, I have the ability to change some of those properties. Now, we don't want to do that, but for example, we can also change the opacity. So we can change if we want it a little bit lighter, we want it a little bit darker. So if we actually just quickly hop to our floor plan so we can see this in action, I'm going to zoom in here. As you can see, my QSX processor is a little bit lighter than it was before. So again, select here. So I can make it opaque, or again, I can have it its full color. I can also make it larger or smaller based on your personal preference of how you would like to cover maybe those your symbols from your legend. You also can scroll down here, and in this custom category, you can give it a name or an area. So area might be, we'll say equipment closet. This is my proc, for example. Now this will all save. So if I was to jump back down to my markups list, my name and my area have now been created.